Okay, so today's lesson is the last lesson before your test. Okay, so remember, Monday we don't have school. Tuesday we'll do some practice. Make sure you didn't forget everything over the weekend. Wednesday we'll review. Thursday we'll review. Friday is your test. So a week from today. Okay. So today we're talking about rectangles, rhombuses, and squares. Okay. Now all of these definitions say a rectangle is a rhombus is a what? Parallelogram. Okay. So these are all different types of parallelograms, meaning that all of these are going to have the same properties as our parallelograms. So, for example, your opposite angles being equal, your other angles being same side interior, so they add up to 180. Your diagonals being bisected, the sides across from each other are equal. All those same properties still apply. We're just adding on some new properties to that. Okay? So a rectangle is a parallelogram with congruent diagonals.
Would a square be congruent to?
Okay. So not only do the diagonals bisect, but they're all equal to each other. Okay, and then just like a parallelogram, your opposite sides are equal. So those are equal. And then what about each of these corner angles? What do they equal? 90. So those are all right angles. All right. A rhombus is a parallelogram with diagonals that are perpendicular, and your opposite angles are being bisected. Do y'all remember what perpendicular means?
No.
They cross at what type of angle?
At
90, right? So I think the kite was the other one that had diagonal or perpendicular diagonals. So those intersect at a 90-degree angle. And then your diagonals bisect. So not only are the angles across from each other congruent, but they're also getting cut in half, so the two halves are going to be the same. So, like, for example, if angle P is 64 degrees, well, then each half is 32 degrees. Same thing with angle R. If angle R is 64 degrees, the two halves are 32. Yep. And then also with the rhombus, all your sides are the same. All your sides here are the same length as well. And then a square has both rectangle and rhombus properties. So all your corner angles are going to be 90 degrees. Your diagonals are going to be perpendicular, so they're going to intersect at a 90-degree angle. Your angles are going to get bisected, so each half of the diagonal is 45. All your sides are equal. Each part of the diagonal is the same length. So all the same properties that I've been talked about so far, along with your parallelogram properties, will apply here.
No.
All right, let's start off with the rhombus. Okay, so I want to find GJ, so that diagonal. What do I know about the two halves of the diagonal?
They're equal.
They're equal to each other, right? Well, I've got two expressions. I've got a 3x plus 1 and an x plus 9. So what can I do with those two expressions? Set them equal to each other, okay? So, yes, let's do that. So 3x plus 1 equals x plus 9. So what's x? 4. Okay, so subtract x, subtract 1. So 2x equals 8. So x is 4. Yes. Okay. So
Now you gotta plug it in
now I gotta plug it in.
and multiply it by 2.
Yep. Okay. So 3 times 4 is 12. What's 12 plus 1? 13. I've also got another expression. 4 plus 9 is 13. So what's the length of the whole diagonal?
26.
26.
So JK is
But JK is 13. We just found that. That was the x plus 9. So JK is 13. Makes sense? Okay. For number 3 and 4, we're trying to find the angles. Okay, let's look at what I'm given in my picture. Okay, I'm told that this piece right here is y plus 4, and then all of h is 4y minus 8. Go back and look at your rhombus properties real quick. What did it say about the angles?
perpendicular.
Angles.
Bisect.
They're bisected. Okay, so if this is y plus 4, what's that? Also y plus 4, because the two halves have to be the same. Okay.
This way. And
And they're equal.
then FJH is the same as FGH.
Would the y plus 4 be equal to 1/8?
You're on the right track. Okay. How do G and H relate? All of G and all of H.
They add one
They're
side.
supplementary.
They add 180, right?
Yeah.
So let's do that to find y, and then I can go find the angles. So instead of saying y plus 4 plus y plus 4, can I say 2y or 2 times y plus 4? Okay, so let's do that. So 2 times y plus 4 plus 4y minus 8, or not 18, 8 equals 180. Because G and H are next to each other, so therefore they are supplementary. Okay. So distribute. So when you distribute, what does that turn into?
2 on this one.
Yep. So 2y plus 8 plus 4y minus 8 equals 180. The 8's go to 0. What's 2y plus 4y? 6. So 6y equals 180. So what's y? 30. Okay. So I know what G and H are. I just need to go now plug in. So let's do that, and then we'll actually answer the question. So 30 plus 4 is what?
34.
34. So each of those are 34. So the whole angle G is 68. Right? And then for F, 4 times 30 minus 8 is what? 4 times 30 minus 8. 112. Good. Okay. What is all of J going to be?
It's gonna be 68.
68. Good, because it's across from G. And then what about F? 112. So now let's answer the question. I want H, F, J.
112. Wait, no. You'd have to divide it by 2.
You'd have to divide it by 2, right? Because it's not the whole angle.
56.
56. Good. So 112 divided by 2 is 56, because that's not the whole angle. And then HJF, is that the whole angle?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
It'd be 60.
So that would be 68 degrees. Yes. Oops, I did not highlight the right angle. This is HJF.
Why? Why did you say that?
I did not talk like
All right, any questions on the rhombus?
Oh, I got a good one. Where does Batman use the restroom? In the bat room. That would be good.
That was on the recording.
That's good.
Everyone will hear it.
Yeah.
All right.
I hear that one.
Okay. Next, find the length of MO. Diagonal MO. Set those equal to each other. Good, because your diagonals are getting bisected. So 5A minus 7 equals 2A plus 8. Okay, what's A? 5. Okay. So 5 times 5 minus 7 is 5 times 5 minus 7.
18.
18. The other one should be 18. 2 times 5 plus 8. So what's the length of the whole diagonal?
36 degrees.
Not degrees.
Oh, wait, yeah. I didn't mean degrees. You said 46.
I know I did.
You said the wrong one.
Let's see.
All right. Let me ask you this then. What would LP be?
It's the same.
Would it
They're all the
be-
same.
It would be 18.
It would be 18, right? Because with the rectangle,
They're all the same.
your diagonals are congruent. Good.
You have star
That would be 18.
Okay.
All right. Now for number 3, I want LM.
So,
Let me ask you this. Do we know LO?
no. Yes. 26.
26, right?
Yes.
Those are opposite. And we just found out that MO was 36. What kind of angle does this make? 90. Gotta do Pythagorean theorem. Yep. Never goes away.
So I can just watch you do it.
No.
Okay.
A squared.
So you have two sides of a right triangle, you need a third, right?
Yeah.
So Pythagorean theorem. Which one's gonna be C?
No. Oh wait. 36.
36.
Is the hypotenuse.
Okay, I'm just gonna say A is what I'm looking for. So A squared plus 26 squared equals 36 squared. Okay, what is 26 squared?
676.
676. And then 36 squared is 1296. So when you subtract those, what does A squared equal? 620.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then how do you get rid of a square? Square root. And then round to one decimal place. You all agree? 24.9.
Yep.
Good. LM is 24.9, yes.
So wouldn't it be 24
Yes.
degrees?
Degrees. Yes. Okay. So I want, let me erase this. Okay, I want angle NMO, which is right here.
Yeah.
Aren't those two triangles the same?
If they're exactly.
They're exactly the same. They're actually both isosceles because those are the same instead of the diagonals. And we talked about this way back when, but with an isosceles triangle, the angles at the bottom are the same. So if this is 24, then that has to be 24.
Is that other one 24? Is O?
Yes, that would also be 24. Yes.
It's an isosceles. Isosceles.
Your angles at the bottom and are the same.
You don't need
No.
isosceles. You see, you can see two similar looking lengths. Scale lane is about fish scale, you know, fish scale is the same. And then equilaterally.
Moving on. All right.
That's my fourth grade student teacher.
You'll have to tell me when we're done. Okay. Number one. So now we're on the square. Okay. I want to find SR.
Oh, so you said equal.
Set them equal, right? Because all your sides of a square are the same. So 2K plus 7 equals 3K minus 2.
K equals -9.
No,
No?
that's not right.
Oh, yeah. You gotta add, it'd be 8.
K should be 9.
Yeah.
Subtract 2,
No,
or subtract 2K and then add 2.
I looked at it wrong.
No. So 9 equals K. So find SR. 2 times 9 plus 7. 18 plus 7. 25. So what are you?
What are you?
25. Yep.
And then.
Okay. Now I want SU.
Should be the same thing.
Pythagorean theorem, right?
Oh wait, no, I'll look.
You got a right angle. It never goes away.
If you don't like it, just say that.
So this one would be its isosceles, wouldn't it?
Well, it's a right triangle. So, I mean, I guess technically it would be isosceles. That's 45, that's 45. Anyway. So this time you're looking for your hypotenuse. So 625 plus 625. What was that, 1250? No.
No.
Okay, what's the hypotenuse? 35.4.
So, no, I already told you.
All right, any questions so far?
I think that's a lot.
No.
All right, flip to the back. You got a lot of space on the back, right? You do not need to use all this space for this one problem. We're going to do something underneath. Okay? So just write like you normally would. Don't write crazy big. You don't need to write crazy small. Okay? But we're using that space underneath. So keep that in mind. Okay. There's a question just like this on your test, first and foremost.
That is
I could solve this without.
Oh, yeah? Did you?
Yeah, 767. And then you had the times 2. And then you would subtract it from 36 and divide by 2. That's the other plus.
But I think
Okay, but I want X, Y, and Z.
What's X minus Z?
I want the variable. I don't want the angle.
Okay, I can do that too though.
Okay, anyway, there's a question just like this on your test, so make note of that.
Start.
Okay. Peyton, you are kind of on the right track. Okay?
kind of
What is that angle going to be?
67.
67, right? Because it's across from that angle.
So, wait.
What?
Where am I supposed to?
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. What is this angle going to be?
It's gonna be that other one.
Wait, let me do it.
It's gonna be equal to 6x minus 1.
360 minus
I'm not wrong.
134. 113.
Okay. So that's 113 because those are supplementary.
Oh, duh.
So this one's also 113. Now, someone said it a second ago, like 6x minus 1 equals negative z minus 4, and they are the same angle, but you can't set those equal to each other because you've got an x and a z, right? We don't know how to deal with multiple variables. Okay? But now I know what these angles equal. I can take each of those expressions and set them equal to that angle.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, for x, 6x minus 1 equals 113. Because the question's asking me to solve for the variable, not find the angle. So we need the angle in order. So 6x equals 114.
X equals 19.
Okay, so x is 19. Now I can do y. 3y plus 10 equals 67. So 3y equals 57. So what's y?
Yeah.
19. Okay, that's just a coincidence. There's nothing special about that. Just a coincidence. Okay.
Because X is 19.
Okay. So now I have negative z minus 4 equals 113. What does negative z equal?
117.
117.
And then you gotta divide it because, or you just gotta remove the negative, right?
Yes, but how do I move it?
You divide by the.
Divide by a negative, right? I need to get rid of the negative. So I can just divide both sides because that's technically a 1. So divide by a negative 1. So Z is negative 117. And then if you wanted to check, the way you would plug that in, that negative right here stays. So negative 117 minus 4, negative times a negative is positive, that becomes the 113 you need. So there's a problem just like that on your test.
Well, that's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Looks a little intimidating, but all right. Still got space? Okay, let's use that space. So you have your own like family tree, right? Your parents, your grandparents, cousins, aunts, uncles. Okay. Well, the quadrilaterals have their own family tree too. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. So label this as your quadrilateral family tree.
You want us to draw this?
Yep. That's what all this space is for.
How do you spell
I made this long, so
Okay. So this family's messed up. Okay. And the way I'm going to explain it to you is a little weird. But the hope is that it'll stick. Okay.
it's like God, man.
Anyway, all right. So we start off our quadrilateral family tree with the big man, Big Daddy Quadrilateral. He's at the top of this family tree. Go for it.
I swear.
All right. Big Daddy Quadrilateral gets together with some unknown person, unknown to us at least, and has 3 kids.
Swear to
The trapezoid,
Did you just say
So nobody knows
no,
the
you
baby
just
mama?
said sir.
no one knows the baby mama.
it.
The parallelogram, that's right, and the kite.
Always high.
Baby Mama said it was gonna be a circle as well.
Kites are not, or circles are not quadrilaterals. Okay. Poor little kite. You can interpret what happens to kite, but kite's family tree is done. Okay, so the kite is no more. Okay. The trapezoid gets together with some unknown, and they have the isosceles trapezoid, which is the trapezoid we talked about. Parallelogram gets together with some unknown and has 2 kids.
Ooh.
The rectangle and the rhombus. Any idea what's coming next?
the rectangle and the rhombus are getting together.
They're siblings.
Oh,
Well,
they're incest.
oh, siblings got siblings. Poor rectangle and rhombus, I guess couldn't find anyone, so they just settled with each other.
That's cute.
And they have the square. Got a little Sweet Home Alabama
The square's
going on.
like perfect.
See, that's more Mississippi.
Square's like-
Mississippi, whatever.
Alabama's more for the cousins. Mississippi's more for the siblings.
Squares are like perfect, so how do you finish it away?
Square's not perfect. His mama and daddy are siblings.
No.
Yeah, he has a little bit of.
How's it go like, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so to recap, Big Daddy Quadrilateral has 3 kids. Trapezoid, parallelogram, kite. You can interpret what happens to the kite. Kite's done.
He flies
Okay.
away.
Flies away, something. Okay? Trapezoid has a kid. The isosceles trapezoid. Parallelogram has 2 kids. Rectangle and rhombus. Poor rectangle and rhombus can't find anyone for each other, so they just settle with each other, and they have the square. Okay, the purpose of this.
Yeah.
This is how you know your properties. Okay? Isosceles trapezoid has trapezoid properties. Your rectangle and rhombus have parallelogram properties. Your square has rectangle and rhombus properties, which has parallelogram properties. So they all tie together.
What's kite?
Hmm?
What's kite? Wrong.
Kite just has its own properties.
That's-
Your family tree is fair game for your test.
Yes.
So you may or may not need to know your family tree. Make sure you have it written down and written down correctly.
Wait, we're gonna need to write it.
Whose squares that?
Potentially.
Rectangle.
I mean, that's why I teach you that way, because you think, oh, there's a little brother-sister action going on somewhere. Where's that in my family tree? You know?
Big Daddy Quadrilateral has.
That's your Big Daddy
I bet
Quadrilateral.
he's like disappointed in his square.
Yeah.
Well, he started it. He's the one getting together with unknowns. All right. So to finish this off, we're going to answer these 6 questions using our family tree. These 6 questions are also on your test. So I've given you 8 questions on your test. So you should at least make like a 40. The whole back page are potential questions on your test. Write a note somewhere saying that. I would write a note on the front of your note saying, hey, the back page is part of my test. And then, like I said, I would maybe write a note on the front saying, hey, make sure you go look at the back, because those are 8 questions on my test. These 6 questions, verbatim. I'm not changing them up. They're going to look just like that.
Same exact questions?
Same exact question.
So we can use our notes on the test?
No,
Oh.
just have a note. Okay. Number 1, and so you're going to answer these always, sometimes, or never true. Okay, number 1, isosceles trapezoids are parallelograms. Never. If you look at your family tree, that's never true. Okay, but let's think about why that's never true. Right. How many sets of parallel sides does a parallelogram have? How many sets? 2 sets of parallel sides, right? Your parallelogram has 2.
Oh, parallelogram. I thought you were talking about.
The isosceles trapezoid has 1.
Yeah, that's what that is.
So in order to be a parallelogram, you have to have 2 sides or 2 sets of sides parallel. And then the isosceles trapezoid only has 1. So that's why it's never.
Yeah.
All right, number 2, rhombuses are quadrilaterals.
Yeah.
True boys.
Always. Quadrilaterals are 4-sided figures. Rhombuses are 4-sided figures. Okay, we kind of just answered number 3. Trapezoids have 1 pair of opposite sides parallel.
True.
That's always.
Same exact order.
No.
Never always.
So I is then.
Most of them are common sense though. Okay, number 4. Kites have 2 pairs of congruent sides.
True. Oh, sides?
Always, sometimes, or never.
Oh, sometimes.
Oh.
I wouldn't say always. Because you have those two and those two.
Are those congruent?
Oh, yeah.
Are those congruent?
Yeah.
What's your answer?
Always.
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 Alright, number 5. Squares are regular quadrilaterals.
You probably have some work defects.
Something like that.
Y'all remember what regular means?
No.
A regular polygon?
Oh,
The
oh,
same,
that's
all
it.
equal.
All equal what?
Size?
Sides
Sides and angles.
So it's true.
They're true.
Always.
Always true, right? Squares have equal sides and equal angles. So that's always. And then if you don't remember what regular means, write that down. Regular,
Equilateral and equal angle.
yep. Equal sides
6.
and equal angles. And number 6, parallelograms have 4 congruent angles.
Sometimes.
When?
Whenever congruent.
When they're,
What kind of parallelograms?
Congruent parallel.
when they're squares.
Squares and rectangles. So your normal parallelograms don't have 4 congruent angles. Your rhombuses don't have 4 congruent angles. But rectangles and squares do.
So, that's what's up.
So again, that whole back page is fair game for your test. So I just gave you 8 questions. You should at least make 40. Any questions?
It'll be so much.
So you don't